So the stock market is acting weird these days. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Should you diversify? Should you get into real estate investing? And would you know what to do? That's next on the Jeff Crilley Show.
Predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So with the stock market acting so weird, a lot of people are trying to get into real estate investing, but it's not just a matter of watching a couple of reality shows and suddenly you're an expert. To talk about that, a nationally known expert, Mark Bloom, NetWorth Realty. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Well, I gotta believe that these reality shows are a blessing and a curse. I mean, first of all, they've educated people that real estate investing is a viable opportunity, but they've also kind of made it look so incredibly easy that a moron could do it.
Sure. It's definitely not so easy that a moron could do it. It isn't the most difficult thing in the world, but like anything else, it takes practice. It takes multiple attempts. You're not going to nail it right off the bat. You have to expect that there is going to be a learning curve at some level. And I do think that those shows are a curse and a blessing. They're great that they put it out there and they show people that there's another investment vehicle out there. It's unfortunate that they use the movie magic sometimes on the numbers.
Yes.
And it doesn't always show the reality of the situation.
And that's one of the reasons why you stepped into this space, is to take some of the guesswork out of it.
100%. So one of our slogans is making flipping easy, right? So what we try and do is we try and give someone as much information as we can, responsibly, legally, to help make the process, the project, easily digestible. So these are unemotional business decisions when you buy these houses. It's not like you're buying a house to live in, right? It's a function of how much is this property worth? How much is it going to cost to make it worth that much in repairs? And what can I buy it for? How am I going to finance that? And am I okay with margins?
Yes.
Right? So we try and help our buyers through that process. We try and help them identify the value accurately, predict what that future value will be. How much is it going to cost to make it worth that much? And then make sure we offer it up. When we offer up our properties, they're off market. We don't use the MLS, we don't use the internet.
Yes.
It's all private relationships, and they're at fixed pricing. So we bring a lot of value to the table for both new and experienced investors, flippers and landlords.
Yeah, I know you and I worked together years ago,
Yeah.
and I remember talking talking to some of your happy clients about doing multiple deals with you just because you made the process so easy.
It is a rinse or a wash, rinse, and repeat. It definitely is a process where once you get it down and you have your crews and you have your avenues for acquisitions, your people that you're going to use, your crews that you're going to use for rehab, and then your exit strategy, whether that be to sell or to rent or to owner finance. As you have those down and you get more and more comfortable, like any business, you get more and more efficient, right? We were just watching your intro, and you started out,
Young reporter. Yeah.
And with a video camera in your family room going, man, this internet thing, everybody's a TV reporter, right? So with us, everybody is a real estate investor. It takes time to build to 8 studios and what you have, right? Same thing. It takes time to build that process. And we're there to, what I like to refer to it as, and what I think is most accurate, is reduce the risk that our buyers are taking and increase the profit that they can make, which is really the basis of any investment, risk and return. And we're there to identify and reduce risks and help try and make those returns as high as possible.
Well, one of the things I've always admired about you, Mark, is you're a good voice and face for the company. There's a lot of people in your space, not exactly doing what you do, but you put a great voice and face to it. We're going to roll this video now.
5 reasons why residential real estate should be in your portfolio are this. It is the last quality, uncommoditized asset class. It has only recently just begun to be purchased by the funds and hacked up and sold. Move yourself up in the investment chain. 2, it is crucial to a quality of life. You have to have housing, you have to have food. You can forage for food, you cannot forage for housing. The only way to own housing is to own it or rent it. Control that transaction. You will help control your wealth. It is easily financeable. You can go to any lending institution and get financing for this. And the government incentivizes it. They give you tax shelter and they subsidize your rents. Take advantage of it. Buy into your cities.
Very nice.
Oh, that was good.
And very dapper, I might say.
Thank you.
I like the
Thank
bow
you. I
tie.
appreciate that.
Yes. So tell us more about the growth of the company, because when you and I worked together, I think you were just North Texas.
We were mostly just North Texas. I think we had an office in Atlanta. That was our first office outside of North Texas. Presently, we're 20 offices nationwide.
Amazing.
Thank you. We buy and sell a few thousand properties a year, and we make those available to the people that we work with for their benefit. Off-market, fixed pricing. One of the things that I think makes us really unique is we're one of the only sellers that I'm aware of that doesn't do a highest and best situation. And what I mean by that is if there are multiple people bidding on the properties, we don't pit those two against one another just to increase our margin, because our people are, as we spoke about earlier, this is a business and not a house for you to live in.
Yes.
We want to make sure that we maintain those margins to the best of our ability for the benefit of the person buying from us.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that makes you so successful is you're very transparent in your business model. People understand what they're getting when they go with you guys. We're going to put up your case studies page because I found this fascinating. I love the way you broke that down for the audience, that you can actually see how much rehab work you'd have to put into it and what your profit would be.
Well, and we're going to get more detailed with these. I love that you love them. We're going to actually start to make video stories. Each one of them is going to have a process. You're going to have full befores, in the middle, afters. It'll walk you through. It'll give you actually some feedback from the investor themselves on, hey, I spent a little bit more, but I got a little bit more,
Yep.
or, I didn't get what I thought I was going to get, but it was because of this, that, or the other thing.
And these are pretty much average deals. These are not you're not picking out your 1 in a million success
We
stories.
pick out the case studies prior to them closing with us. So you buy a property from us, we go, hey, we've got to do before and after pictures. We need to do this project. We need to know we're going to do this project before you close on it.
Yes.
So it's decided ahead of time, and then it just is what it is.
And I know you were a lawyer in another life, or at least studying
for a short time.
a short time. Yeah. Your background in the law has really helped you help your clients, because I think there's a lot of mess that you can get into when you're doing real estate investing, and then all of a sudden at the last minute you find out some lien on a property that you didn't know existed.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, it helps for sure. I also think it helps just in the sense that people know I'm experienced. They know I've been around. They know that we're legitimate. They know that we bring the kind of integrity that you would bring to a law firm, to a business that maybe hasn't always had the best reputation. And so we try and really create the best experience, transparent experience for our buyers. And I think, honestly, as a company, our collective knowledge is so significant. And we've got people who've been in the flipping and wholesaling rentals business for decades, since the early 2000s, late 90s. So that it really wasn't an industry back then that a lot of people were associated with. So we've got a lot of experience.
Tell me about your ideal client. Are they typically a real hands-on person, or are they just the person who says, I want this property and I'm going to send this crew?
It can be either person. We really have kind of two buckets, and you've kind of hit them. One is the more experienced investor who's just looking for deal flow. Hey, I need some more rentals, or I need some more flips. I'm not finding anything. I want a place where I can go and not have to spend time or money to get deal flow, and that's what we do, and then we bring it to the table. And then you have your newer, less experienced investors who need to be a little bit more hands-on because they need to learn the process. They need to get their crews. They need to get everything in place. And so we're there to kind of help them, hold their hand through that process.
Tell me about the crew issue, because I've heard anecdotally that there's problems getting crews. I mean, are they in short supply right now?
So, I mean, right now, it's a booming market, right? But I don't personally believe that there is a massive shortage of labor, especially in, a lot of the cities, the larger cities that you're in. Mm-hmm. You have massive unemployment right now. There is labor that is looking for places to work. Sometimes contractors will use, I know it's crazy, but extreme situations to justify increasing prices when maybe they really don't need to increase prices. And that's business, and right. I guess so be it. But know that, there's nothing that I'm seeing in a labor market that is so short that someone needs to be paying 20 or 30% more for the labor portion of what they're doing.
Okay, Mark, if somebody's watching this right now, that's your camera, so I want you to talk to the viewer. And they're thinking, I might want to put one toe in the water, but I'm scared. What's your advice to that person?
I get it. Fear is probably the largest issue, concern of the unknown, and that's what we're here for. I mean, that's why those case studies are there. The idea with a property is that, as I said earlier, we're trying to reduce the risk. So if we can show you what that property is going to sell for, and we can show you several properties in the same subdivision or area that are about the same year built, about the same size, we go and we look at what the finish out on all those properties is. So you say, if this house has wood and it has granite and it has stainless, then if I do those things to my house, it should sell for about the same price. And those properties are going to be in the same range. So understand that it doesn't have to be as scary as just looking at it from 50,000 feet and going, I have no idea what I'm doing and how am I going to do this. It becomes less scary as you dig in. Information is freedom, and there's a lot of power in information. So don't be so scared that you don't dig into it, because as you dig into these and we walk you through a deal and you go see one and you see it sell and then you see it get rehabbed and you see it sell and you're like, oh, wow. Okay, that didn't seem that difficult. It doesn't have to be, don't call us and expect to buy a property or us to try and sell you a property in 48 hours. We want to walk you through the process and get you comfortable so that you're ready to buy the property. And that's really going to take digging into the numbers and the information.
Outstanding. Mark, you've been a great guest. We'll have to have you back. We're going to put the website up to end the segment. NetWorthRealtyUSA.com is the website. Mark Bloom, owner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. Great seeing you again.
You bet.
Yeah, man.
And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.